Good morning, everybody. This is the Perchy here from the Perchy TV. Good morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. How is everyone doing? Oh, it's another day without a centre back. But let's get this going. Let's see how we are. How is everybody today? Who we got in the chat? My mate Kuva. Big up Kuva. Hope you're doing well, mate. If you want to, I think you just messaged. I think I see you just messaged saying, listen, welcome on any time. You know that, mate. You don't even have to ask. Who else we got in here? Tigaro, big up to you, mate. SPT, how are you, mate? Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, chat. Wherever you guys are from, welcome along. Guys, smash a like on the way in. 28 in here, 9 likes. Let's get that to 20 likes. Come on. It'll push out to more people. We'll have more people. Make sure you guys also this morning get your questions in. We'll have a little chat. There's not much Spurs news really going on, is there? It's all the same. We're bled without real conversation. So let me know your questions. I'll answer anything. You can keep it about football. You can keep it about anything. Let me know. Good morning, Ruta 2. How are you doing? Yeah, Spurs sufferers in the chat. Yeah, guys. Big up to you guys. Big up, Laronka. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Big up to yourself. Big up, Mark Cousins. Real one. Always here. The sheriff is in town. Toka Boka. Oh, if you don't know, this man will sound like he missed it. I know you did actually message and stuff about it. And listen, mate, listen. Let me sort something. I will see what I can do for you, mate. I'll see what I can do for you. I can't promise anything, but let me see what I can do. I might be able to sort something out, but just hold that with me. Much love to you, mate. Much love. I know you were sorting some family stuff out literally as you got drawn. Listen, leave it with me. I will see what I can do because that's the sort of person I am. I'm trying to be a nice person and try and get it. Yeah, Kuv, mate. Listen. Always welcome onto the show. You know you are always. There, big up, mate. Big up, Laronka. Hope you're doing well, mate. Big up. And big up, Bill. Hope you're doing well. Guys, so, as I said, there's not much news to talk about. I mean, let's just start with tomorrow. Spurs around about this time, is it? I want to say, I think it actually maybe it kicks off at 10 o'clock UK, 11 o'clock for me in 11 o'clock my time for the game tomorrow. So I am tomorrow. I have been invited to join Sava on his show, so I might go over there and do a watch on with him tomorrow. And I might do my show a little bit earlier and just have a little bit of a half an hour chinwag beforehand. But yeah, so there's not much to talk about tomorrow. I want to see the same energy again tomorrow in the match. I want to see, I said, high energy from Tottenham. I want to see a lot more going forward, and I want to just see a better performance and a better defensive performance, definitely. Yeah, mate, listen, no promises, but I'll see what I can do. I'll dig something out and see what I can do for you, mate. Tigaro, I hope you're doing. I'm convinced Fabrizio Romano doesn't know much as we think he does. Do you think we'll have sneaky signings next week? To mark on the first point, Tigaro, mate, I don't think it's not that he doesn't know much. What Romano is what he's, in a sense, he's the sort of centralized person. It's not necessarily that he knows everything. What he does, he has good relationships with people. So what he does is then they give him the exclusive straight away. So he'll get on the phone to insert people that don't want to be named, and then he'll put it out as himself. So what that does is it allows the source to be anonymous, and then what he does is he just centralizes it. So what we all do, and listen, we all do this, Tigaro. We all have Romano on notification so we can see what he's going to say about any club, not just Tottenham. So I wouldn't say necessarily that he doesn't know much, but what he does, he knows contacts really well. He has an amazing contact network that will feed through him, and he'll be the spokesperson. So in essence, he's more like a spokesperson for the sort of transfer dealings and stuff. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he doesn't know much. I think he knows a lot of people, but he's the one that I trust, him, and there's a few others, of course. And also the other one was, do you think we'll have a cheeky signing next week? We have to. I don't think it's that sneaky one. We have to get a centre half in. We also need to deal with the Harry Kane saga, which I try not to go into because I feel like we've completely done the Harry Kane saga to death, really. Thoughts on PSG excluding Mbappe from squad? Laronka, big up to you, mate. They want to get rid of him, and rightly so. Listen, they're doing what a proper football club are doing, aren't they? They're doing what a proper football club are doing. Gone, do you know what? We're not going to lose you for on a free. And what was more telling, they think that a deal has already been arranged for him and Real Madrid next summer. If that's the case, where does that put Harry Kane in the saga? But yeah, don't really want to. But they're doing the right thing. They know that they can't lose him for free. They can't. The ball Gronk leave out before he sabotages my uncle Ange's prem. Listen, I think Ange needs all the support from our fan base more than anything. I think more than anything. I think Ange Postecoglou, wherever we finish, he's the one that we have to back and support, in my opinion. I think we're all kind of in balance there. Big up, Danny. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Big up to you, my friend. Big up to you. Yep, tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Oh, is it 11 o'clock tomorrow your time? So is that 12 o'clock for me? Yes, it is. My phone's telling me 12 o'clock. So midday tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll probably do an early stream similar to like this tomorrow. And then I will be joining Sava on his to do the watch along with him and join him on the watch along. Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? I think Ange will be fine. Ange is getting frustrated about the Kane situation. Is it going to affect the team? It shouldn't do, Tocker. I don't think it should affect the team. I think what we need to do is get clarity on where we go. I think it's where we go. Mark thinks we can sign Longley. Mark, do you know what I have a feeling with Clement Longley? I think with him, it's going to be more about Barcelona will rip his contract up and then we'll get him on a free. That's how I see will happen. I think we'll end up. I think you're right. Did you see that Longley deal is now on hold with other clubs expected to come in for him? Yeah, Rudy, I don't want Longley at the club. I don't think he was good enough last season. My worry is that he'll end up getting his contract ripped up, just as I mentioned just a minute ago, and we get him on a free. That's my worry. Tagaro back to it. I think Longley knows a lot. I just think we put too much weight on the information releases. Listen, I think we have to remember Tagaro. I think the stuff he says is we take everything with a pinch of salt. I think that's the key one. I think you're right. I think some people do take a lot of what he says as gospel. But listen, I think it's all about take it with a lot of it with a pinch of salt. When he says, here we go, obviously he's got obvious things that people know that there's a reason for it. So just give me a bit of water. My mouth is parched. Apologies for that. Yeah, agreed. Romano is like a news agency. He doesn't know anything by himself, but works with a lot of information hubs to shares. Been told, yeah, agreed. That's what he does. He's like the he's like the news correspondent in a sense. So he gets all the information, and he's the one that then stands out there and says it and portrays it to the world. I agree. Would probably be a lower tier would be probably lower tier / surprise Clement Longley on a free. Yeah, I think we'll end up getting him on a free, in my opinion, Laronka. I think that'll be the only way we end up getting him. Guys, there's 50 of you in here and only 15 likes. Can all of you guys that haven't liked this stream right now go and hit the button? I want to try and push this out. We're going to go for 2 hours and stuff. Let's push this out. And I would, if people are in there and want to come along, give me a shout. If we get 50 likes, I'll put it in. I might even put it in the chat again to get some of you guys involved if you want. But I have just sent a few messages out to people. If they want to come and join the stream, we might get a few guests a bit later. So yeah, so guys, in the chat, smash the likes. And remember, guys, obviously the charity is still going all up until the end of the month. So if you want to, let me know and I'll put the Just Giving page in. If you want to send super chats in, do that, and I will get that stuff read out as well. And obviously a massive thank you if you do so. Thank you very much. So yeah, there we go. 23. Come on. Can we get that straight away to 50? Come on, guys. Let's do that quickly. What is else? Is there anyone got any questions? Any questions? Um, yeah, no. So yeah. Back the likes of Daigle, grow the numbers and play to kick Levy out. Yeah, listen, I think exactly. I think the lot. When we say that, I think the numbers with Levy. When we say about Levy out, I think we're all in that sort of, most of us in that same. Yeah, I just think at the moment with the sort of Levy, I think we've got to remember this is a man that he's got a football club he right well, an industry now that he runs that's worth over 6 billion, give or take. It's not going to be as simple as getting him out. Big up James Joris. How you doing? Don't chat much, but watch all your streams. Much love to you. Thank you so much, mate. Listen, I love it. Share the love. Spread it out. Go and push it out to other people. I want to try and progress. I'm trying to push it, and I'm at the point now where I want to really now push my channel to a big level. I've put a real bold target to get to 2,000 before the first game of the season. So I would love if we can get there. That would be absolutely phenomenal if we can get to 2,000 subscribers before we get to before the first game of the season against Brentford. That would be amazing. And I will. And I said I will be doing a giveaway then if we hit that target. It's a bold target, 2K. I think we're at. Let me see where we are at the moment. I think we're about 7 off 1,300. So if you haven't and you're in here and haven't subscribed, please do so. Yeah, I think it's 1,293. So we are 7. I'm going to make a small target today. If we can get 7 subscribers to get to 1,300, that would be phenomenal. So please hit the likes, hit the likes, spread it out. We want to. If we hit the likes, it gets out to further more people, and if that's all you do, that'd be incredible. Big up Tigaro. Take your points, mate. In the case, the silence of our centre backs is definitely. Yeah, mate. Listen, I'm worried that we've not hearing anything more about centre backs. It does worry me. Oh yeah, it terrifies me. It terrifies me exactly. It worries me. There's a thumb down button on the PC. What does that do? Yeah, Mark. I mean, obviously, people can hit the down vote if they don't like it. Thumbs down. Regardless, even if you do that, by the way, it still pushes my content out because it's interaction. Obviously, don't do it because obviously the more likes you get, the better it pushes you out. But yeah, no, the thumbs down. I mean, people do hit that, and I do find it a bit weird. Like, I get a lot of people that dislike the channel, and even on the charity stream, I got like 5 or 6 dislikes. It was a charity stream. I was like, what did people want me to do? Like, it was, but listen, it's people's opinions. If they don't like it, I can't change that. But the idea is just to change people's opinions, you know. Yeah, big up Tokaboka, mate. I wonder if Ange picks the best side for both tomorrow, both sides for tomorrow, and we'll see the same. I think he might shuffle it a little bit. I think obviously he might do the two halves, 45 minutes each for everyone. But he might start putting the likes of the Celso maybe in the first one team, Madison in the second. Just allow players to play with different people. And I think that's maybe what he does. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. Singing L, Dion Sanchez is still here. I know it's terrifying. I think Eric Dyer will probably be here regardless. I think Sanchez, though, is getting offers. We need to get rid, though. I think so. Season's over before it starts. Yeah, Darryl, I think whether we like it or not, I think it's worrying that we haven't got defenders in. Self-sabotage FC. Yeah, let's just sort it out. Get some defenders in, please, guys. Come on. Spurs must chase the number 6. Number 6 acrobat as well. I don't know what you mean by that. I do think we need a number 6. But I've stood this and said this. I would happily get a number 6 in January or maybe in this next summer if it means we sign 2 centre backs for this team. Listen, I understand it. We need them, but let's try and see it. There's 18 more likes. Can we get to 50 likes before half an hour? There's only 18 of you. You've got to click a tick button in 10 minutes. Come on. Let's get that to 50 likes straight away. Come on. Much love. Does anyone want to see? If anyone wants? Shall I put it out there and see if anyone wants to come on? 1 second. I'll see, and I'll share the link out to some people and see if they want to come along. Why not? We get a few guests on. It's always nice to have some guests on, of course. Always welcome. Anyone's welcome onto the channel. Doesn't matter what your view is of the club. If you love it, I will accept anyone. I made a valid point with this channel when I did set this up, that the rule 101 from when I started was there's no echo chambers. I take people that love the ownership, love the football club. I've got bringing people that absolutely detest the ownership and hate the way that we operate. I try and be balanced. As long as, do you know what it is? And I try and feel like with me, and I like to get your thoughts, and I hope you guys agree with me on this part, is when I say stuff on here, I say what my opinion is. My opinion is my opinion. I don't think I shy away from opinions. I say things how it is. I try not to be that person. Do you know what I mean? I don't toe any lines. I just say how it is. What I feel, people don't agree with me, but I hate when people come back and just go, you're negative. No, listen, if you disagree with what I say, that's fine. You can disagree with anything I say, but just give me some tangible facts back and give me a reason for it, why you feel like it. Big up, Rudy. Increasingly, the journals are saying that we're looking to shift players first before getting centre-backs in. Sanchez, Tanganga and Rodon mentioned to exit. Listen, I think we need to get rid of a lot of players. A lot of players have to go. For me at the moment, though, I do feel we should be getting them in before we offload the likes of Sanchez and Rodon. That worries me if we do it that way. But anyway, it's how the club operates. Let them do their thing, I think. Yeah, Darryl, this is not a circus. We have clowns already. And now you want acrobats. Exactly. We've got an absolute circus going on at the moment at this club. So, yeah. Day 7,000. Lost at sea. Running out of food and water. Birds picking the fish. Spurs still haven't signed a centre back. Yeah, Midori. Exactly. Exactly. Darryl Denton. I heard Richie's better than Tony last season. Listen, I think Ivan Toney's amazing. Yeah, big up Ben Kaufman. How are you doing, mate? Yeah, I did an early one because I know Henry's going on at 11:30, so I thought, do you know what? I'll start half an hour early. I was going to start at 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock my time, so in half an hour. So I just thought, do you know what? I'm not one of those. I try and be courteous to other YouTubers that are streaming, and like Henry's going live at 11:30. So I thought, do you know, 11:30 UK time. So I thought I'll be courteous and start a little bit earlier. Then I'll finish at 11:30, and then everyone can go over to Henry Wright and watch him do. I just try and be courteous. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not one. I try not to sort of not tread on people's toes. That's not how it works. But if I know people like Henry are going live at 11:30, I try not to overlap. One, because of mine, because otherwise I know people watch both me and Henry and Sava, and it obviously covers Sava, Sean. I'm just using Henry because it's Henry this time. But yeah, it's just a bit of courtesy. That's a courtesy. Yesterday I heard that we had £260 in the. I mean, I'm sure 260 million in the bank, and we're miles of FFP. Just signed Van der Ven, and yeah, I don't think the FFP conversation for me is the conversation with FFP. I just don't care. Listen, I don't think we're anywhere near to worry about it. People can say, "Oh, we can spend 400 million." Yeah, but we're not going to do that. I just think at the moment, the way we are, we've just got to remember who we are, and I think that's the thing. I've kind of learned with it all now. Big up Andrew, sell Kane to Bayern's next bid and move Son to 9. Do you know what? That is exactly what I said. I would have Son as your number 9 and go and bring in another winger. Personally, that's what I would do. I honestly think that is the best way to do it, if I'm honest. Personally, I don't think we're going to be able to sign a number 9 that's going to get anywhere near the goals Harry Kane will. But Son maybe might get to 2025. So for me, Son would be the key one to play as your 9, personally. How have you guys not signed a centre-back? Because it's Tottenham Hotspur, Justin. You must learn now. Tottenham don't do things the normal way. Hey, everyone big up the coffee. And go and subscribe to the coffee company if you're in here. That man should be on 500 subs. And if you haven't subbed, go and sub. And guys, 5 minutes to get 10 more likes. Come on. We said to get to 59 now. Someone's liked it. 9 more likes before we get to that half an hour mark. Yeah, listen, it's all about respect in this industry. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I always say to people that you can stream whenever you like, but you've got to remember it doesn't benefit me and it doesn't benefit other people if I stream at the same time as them, because especially people that have got more subs than me, like Henry. Henry's big time. So people are going to go and attract to what Henry's doing, and then I lose out, and he loses out on a few people as well. So it's just out of respect, isn't it? Listen, me going a little bit early benefits everyone. Looks like Napoli pulled out of Lo Celso. I would like to keep him for a season, see how it goes. I have a feeling Lo Celso is going to stay. Personally, I think Lo Celso is staying. If I'm perfectly honest, I think he's staying. For me, I'd happily let him go, but you could be right, Tokaboka. Have him for one more season, maybe, and see how he gets on. Personally, that's what West Ham. That was a West Ham half team we faced and still managed to utilize chances against. Scared of us coming against reinforced Man United and Arsenal. Yeah, Laronca, I think you got to remember though that West Ham team, that was their third game. That was only our first pre-season game. So you've got to remember when teams like West Ham have played a few more pre-season games, it's gonna skew it a little bit. That's why I said to people, and I said to people on Savage for a little bit as well, I said, stop worrying about results. The results are irrelevant. And you guys as fans need to remember, wherever we finish, it's irrelevant results-wise. It makes no difference with us winning, losing, or drawing against West Ham. Listen, we could have... Do you know what was funny? And this is a really, really good point. We could have won that game, but played some of the worst football going. Defensive, sat deep, hit on the counter-attack. Everyone would have been jubilant. Oh, we beat West Ham. But the football would have been atrocious. We did that under Conte. Like our football, we were winning games. Yeah, we won against Man City. But please, I don't want anyone in the chat to tell me that they enjoyed watching us under Antonio Conte, because I was bored out of my mind. So listen, for me, it's not about... for me, it's all about performance, individual performances, and... It's just about finding our weaknesses, which we know, Laronica. I think we all know that. Our defensive issues are the key problem. So I think we just have to be a bit more sensible with it. I think, who cares? Yeah, if we played a full reinforced Man United Arsenal team, yeah, they'd have beaten us. But this is pre-season. Do you know what I mean? Who cares? Just by that, my opinion. Makes up for the rotten eggs and the eating board. Yeah, exactly. Big up to you, mate. Yeah, morning to Rutu. Everyone's saying morning. Leave his accountant, is he not? Creative accounting time when FFP is issued. And you just don't get caught. Yeah, most FFP not fit for purpose, if I'm honest. Guys, there's 87 of you and there's 44 likes. We've got a minute and a half. Can 6 of you in a minute and a half go and like it? And we can get to 50 before 30 minutes in. Come on, guys. Before we get to 10 o'clock UK, go on. 6 likes. Come on, let's do it. Yeah, even Phillips still crash. It looks like put link on. But by the looks, yeah, I know. Percy as well, I'm not seeing why. Oh, here we go. We've got it. Does anyone want to jump on? Dan, if you want to jump on, I won't put it in. I'll send it to you. I've got your number, so I can send it to you. Do you want to come on, Dan? Let me know in the chat if you want to come on. But if anyone wants to come on, let me know. If you don't have my number, just send me a message on Telegram. Oh, not Telegram. On Instagram, and I'll share it. I agree. Son is more. Yeah, agreed. I think Son down as a 9. If we lose Harry Kane, Son is the replacement, in my opinion. Yep, cool. Dan, I will just give you a second, mate. I will get that over to you. Sorry, guys. Let me get Danny on. I do have your number. I'm sure I do, Dan. Yeah, there you are. Found you. Yeah, go, Dan. You're welcome on, mate. We'll have a little chinwag. Why not? Why not, mate? Why not? You're always welcome on. Yeah. Leave you acting like it's exactly. Charge you 60 quid. Son is a number 9. How can't can't head the ball or hold. Yeah, but Joe, I think you got to remember what we're going to be playing next season. We're going to be playing like off the shoulder. I think you're going to see a lot of players off the shoulder of a player. So some will be able to press a little bit more from that number 9. So I think it actually might work. We're not going to be lumping the ball in every game, just trying to win a header. We're going to be playing it and trying to get pressing through the middle. Let's see. We'll find out. It'll be interesting. It'll be definitely interesting to see. Yeah. Good morning, Daniel. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Normally, hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Celtic scored 114 goals last season with 11 players scoring. The Ange way will work for us without Kane. Bang on the money. We need to stop worrying about Harry Kane and start worrying about getting team. What we need to worry about, guys, and I love to get your thoughts on this. And I feel like I am miles behind on the chat, by the way, so I do apologize. I will catch up rather quickly. What I do see with this, guys, this is my thoughts. The Harry Kane 30 goals, because everyone tells me, Harry Kane, no 30 goals, we're going to get relegated. No, we're not. Big up, Dan. Hope you're doing well, mate. Big up to you. I'll get your thoughts on this on Rudi's comment as well. I want to start. I think we're going to be absolutely fine without Harry Kane. Because what we're going to find a way where the 30 goals are going to be spread out 5 or 6 players. And for me, that's what we need to do. The last Heung-min Son had what? He scored what? 12 goals last season, 10 goals in the league, whatever it was. I expect him to go and get 20 next season. Madison, I expect to get 10 goals next season. Solomon, I expect to get 6 or 7 goals next season. Kulusevski had a nightmare last season. I expect him to get 10 goals next season. Charleston, I'm expecting to get 10 or 12 goals next season. Even the likes of Bentancur, when he comes back, maybe get 6 or 7. Basuma, I'm expecting to get late runs into the box. He'll get a handful of goals. So for me, I look at it differently to others. Everyone panicked about, if we lose Harry Kane, we're not. Well, one, we're going to go and sign a striker if we sell Harry Kane. And 2, the goals are going to be spread around it. Lo Celso might go and get 5 or 6 goals if he stays next season. Welcome to the show, mate. Let me know your thoughts.
Oh, mate, where do we start, innit? I mean, it's first thing in the morning. You have your cup of coffee.
Good morning as well, by the way, yeah.
I was just a bit of a late night last night.
He's been on one. Love it.
Yeah, just a bit. But, and then you get up and you start talking about Tottenham and you're like, it can be depressing sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, even down to the fact that we can't even get I won't swear.
Please don't. We want to stay monetized today.
I won't. I really did. I won't. Yeah, that we can't even get a bloody deal through with Blackburn because 3 million. All right, I know nothing of the player, so the best I could actually do. Some might say it sounds stupid. Was actually have a look on Football Manager because Football Manager actually gets it. They actually get. They are. It gives you. They are quite.
Because the thing is the way Football Manager works is they have dedicated scouts that go to every single team. So they go to every team, they watch every training session, and they mark it. And you are right; they very rarely get it wrong, and that's why I said
quite to the point, isn't it?
And that Ashley Phillips is meant to be one of those players. He's meant to be one of those players that comes good.
Yeah, he actually looks like he's got potential. Yeah, but that's just going by what I see on there. All of a sudden, it's on the news. Blackburn step back a bit and say, "Do you know what, Tottenham? We want 5 million." God, do you know what? We probably wouldn't even have to give them like the extra 2 million cash. We just say, right, plays 10 games, we give you 200 grand. Plays 20 games, another 250 grand, and deal's done. And we can't even do that. I know it's not for the first team, but we can't even pull off a deal like that at the moment. Where are we meant to go?
I'll be honest, you're right. I'm worried why that. Do you know what? It was one of those, and the fan base was so divided. It was incredible. I saw some absolute brilliant moments from some people. I'm not going to name names because, of course, on Twitter was an absolute brilliant show because I got in the space of 24 hours, 48 hours. I can't remember exactly the period it was. What I saw was brilliant. I saw people going, "Oh my God, why are we signing Ashley Phillips for 3 million quid when we need to get proper first team centre halves?" And I said, my theory was, listen, both shouldn't be put in hand. realistically, we should be signing the likes of Ashley Phillips, but we also should be signing the likes of Van der Ven. Both don't go.
Right.
They should be the same. We should be buying youngsters for the future, but also buying players from here, there, right now. But then what I saw in 48 hours when it fell apart was everyone going, "Oh my God, blah, blah, blah." The same people going, "Oh my God, here we go again. We've fallen through it." And I went, "You didn't want him 2 days ago. You were moaning about him 2 days ago." I said,
"So what you're whinging about now? Shut up."
Exactly. Exactly. And I saw it. It was brilliant. And for me at the moment, I just said, I've always said, I say this all the time to people. People misinterpret it. I would have loved Ashley Phillips at this club. Not to start, but I'd have liked him to be the sort of 4th, 5th centre half, in the sense that
he's better than Joe Rodon, isn't he?
Of course, exactly. He's better than Joe Rodon, exactly. So you get Rodon out and you bring Phillips in. But what you do is you
give
allow
him a couple of cup games.
Exactly. You allow a player like that to integrate into the team. It worries me that it's not been done. But listen, it could carry on. But listen, do you know what's going to be funny? The people that said they didn't want him will watch him go and join, let's just say Liverpool. Give him that as an example. And then he ends up going to somewhere like Borussia Dortmund. And then he goes on and do you know what I mean? And then he goes to Man United.
The shirt that tells you that, or
it was the shirt was there. But Dortmund, what they do is brilliant. They bring in youngsters.
They are epic at it, mate. They
look at the Premier League and go, "Do you know what we'll do? We'll go and snap the likes of Jude Bellingham. We'll go and snatch the likes of Jadon Sancho." Yeah, listen, he may have come back to gone to Man United and gone not being great, but at Dortmund he was brilliant.
But they brought in so many mil on him.
Yeah, but they bring in so many youngsters from England and just go, "Do you know what? We're going to give you an opportunity." Look at Jude Bellingham now.
We can't spot him, and we're in bloody England.
But this is, do you know what the problem is? Is what I've noticed with us is we don't give youngsters an opportunity. And listen, that's what one of the biggest issues I had with Conte and Jose and stuff. What we need here is to go and say, "Do you know what? We're going to pick these young lads. Yeah, we might not be able to. They may not start immediately, but we're going to build into it." And yeah, that's where I get at. Big up Indian Gooner Perch. I heard you work for Candy Crush King. I work for Infos here, marking league game. Yeah, I do. I don't know where I may have said it on stream. Yeah, but listen, that's my job. That's what I work for. I love them.
Crush. My missus used to love that.
Yeah, they're amazing. But it's a big group. Obviously, it's 80 BK. So it counts as Activision, Blizzard, and King. So you've got like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and stuff.
Mate, don't get me into games. I know I don't seem like the type, but I love my PlayStation 5. Anyone?
Oh, mate, listen, I know. Listen, I'm starting to sort of drift away from the gaming now. Like I used to game a lot. I used to play like the old FIFA all the time. I used to play like Call of Duty, but I don't have time for it anymore. Like I used to love gaming it, but I used to game it a lot. But a load of my mates still do. Like a load of them do, but I don't. As I said, I don't really have I don't have the time. If I'm not working, I'm streaming. So.
One game I do love is Witcher 3.
Oh, I haven't played that. No.
Either way, go back to the football.
Yeah, no. Listen, we can talk about it. We're going to go for another hour and a half anyway, and then we'll jump off half 11 and send everyone over to Mr. Henry Wright, who's on a bit later. Big up Philly. Sorry, man, I missed your comments. I feel the club is not going to learn, and sedimentality will weigh us down. Spurs are more of a charity cam than I think you meant sentimentality will weigh us down. I think you meant Philly.
There's no charity in Spurs, mate.
Yeah,
and there's no charity with Tottenham.
Well, there is though. Do you know what it is? There is charity at Tottenham because players get
not for the fans.
Oh no! But fans allow the charity though. Listen, not everyone. But I'm hearing give Ndombele another chance. Give other players another. Give Lo Celso another chance. Listen, look. I don't talk for the manager.
Mate, I've had this debate with a few people, yeah? And I remember one that agreed on, and I think we had a bit of an argument with a few on here, was Chris. I agreed with what he said. He agreed with what I said on this one, even though me and him have had a bit of separate debates and that, as you do.
Yeah.
I'm all for Angie making the decisions, yeah? And if everyone says they're going to back him up 110%, if it's him, and I do mean him, not Levy, that decides that he thinks he can do something with Ndombele and Lo Celso, whatever, then we got to back the manager and we got to keep him. Personally, I want him gone, yeah?
Yeah.
And with what they've done and whatever, or what should I say, they haven't done, they should be already out the window. But if he says they're cool and he thinks he can do something with them, then we got to back him 110%. I've seen so many people on here blag it off like, yeah, back the manager. And then it's like, no, he can't do this. He can't do that. He can't do. Well, make your bloody mind up, yeah?
Yeah, no,
You're
I
either
agree
going to
with
back
you
the
there.
manager or not. But if I had to pick one or the other, I'd pick the Celso. Not that I think he's been anything
if
good
it
for
was out
us.
of the two, if one of them was to stay and one to go, I'd keep the Celso for one more year and go. Do you know what? Let's see how it goes.
He's got a little bit of stamina. Whereas Ndombele,
Mm.
don't get me wrong, when I have seen things of him and that and watched other videos of him when he was in France, he's technically gifted and there's no two ways about it. But I don't think he's actually got a football brain. He's got the
Ndombele.
gifts.
Do you know what?
He's lazy, but I don't actually think he's got a football brain.
Do you know what Ndombele would be? He would be the first player I'd pick in a five-a-side game. He'd be if you had a five-a-side game, you'd pick because he's tricky on the ball. So he's quite tricky on the ball. So he'd skip round a few players and he doesn't have to sit there and run about everywhere.
I get your point. Like they used to show some of the shows when Ronaldinho on Neymar used to do it on some of the charity events and that.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah. Because the thing is do you know what? You'd have Ndombele and Dembele in your two midfielders in five-a-side. One would do all the running and one would just be able to trick it around and make those. But the thing is it's not five. And the key word here is we're not a five-a-side team. We're an 11. We're an 11-a-side team, and we need players to be working their absolute backside off. And listen, especially, do you know what? Especially under this manager. This manager is not going to be a manager that's going to allow you to be a bit part player. Every single player is going to have their role, and if you're not pulling the line, you're out.
But Conte, that's exactly what Conte done, but he just totally had the wrong plan. Now you see out the past two managers, since he used the whole thing, there was actually one good thing that Mourinho actually did. For me, he's the one who actually spotted Son for what he actually is.
Yeah.
And that's a striker. For me, Son is a striker. He is a better version of Jermaine Defoe. He's got both feet, whereas Jermaine Defoe only had one, And don't get me wrong, Jermaine Defoe I thought was good. Mourinho was the actual one who spotted Son what he was for. Would you agree with that?
Who, sorry?
Mourinho. He was the one who actually spotted what Son was best for. And that was running past Kane and scored a goal.
Do you know what it was? Is what I would say with Jose Mourinho. What he did, it wasn't necessary. No. What I would say with that is the credit I will give Jose Mourinho. What he did is not necessarily Son. What he done was he went, do you know what? Kane and Son are my two best players. I will create a way for us to work together, for them to work together.
Yeah.
And what he done, he found a way for them to be telepathic. And I wasn't a massive fan of Jose Mourinho, but the one thing I do give him credit for,
he was better than Conte.
He found a way. Basically, the football wasn't great, but what he did find was I found the key to unlock with Kane and Son to win us games of football.
And play Son as more of a striker.
Yeah.
Which is basically what he did, really, didn't he?
But he got them two playing closer together, which allowed us to score loads of goals. It's why them two under him scored bucket loads. And that's the one thing. Listen, I understand why people didn't like Jose. I wasn't a big fan of him, by the way. I wanted him gone.
Nor was I.
Way before. When people say to me about, we shouldn't have sacked him for a final, I agree. I said, but he should have been sacked probably a month and a half before that. I said, the football, after Zagreb, I went, he's got to go. That was one of the most embarrassing games of football I've ever seen.
But sacking him just before the cup, I thought was one of the most stupid things you could ever do. Because you know what?
Agreed.
We could have won that cup.
Listen, I think
Mourinho there, we could have actually done that. Because if there's one man who knows how to pick some tactics up, you can't take it away from him.
I would say though, listen, I think when people went, we had no hope in that final. I don't think when we're under Mason, I tell you what, I think people don't give Ryan Mason much credit. Yeah, we weren't great, by the way, in that final before anyone says anything.
No, we weren't.
But let's be honest, what did we lose on? A defensive set piece.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, we could have I say easy. I don't think it was as easy as that, but
It's more than possible.
We could have possibly taken that game because it went to extra time, didn't it?
If I remember
Am I right? Or did they score? I can't remember if they scored in 90 minutes or not.
I can't remember where. I think it was 90
No,
minutes
they scored in the last. Sorry, they scored in the last 10 minutes. I think they scored in the 79th minute. Sorry,
something like that. I don't think it went extra time.
I think it didn't go extra time. No. But I'm saying we could have taken that to extra time and penalties and bored the game off and won on penalties. I'm not saying we would have done. I think Man City were a much better team on the day. No one's.
But I think we'd have had more of a chance with Mourinho.
Oh, agreed with you there.
I think Ryan Mason has got a lot of potential and just.
Oh, he's frozen. Are you there, mate? Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I'm still here. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's only a young fella. I mean, the fella's bloody younger than me. And I think he's got a lot of potential. And I think he's very good to keep in the coaching because he knows the players inside out, basically. He hasn't just played with it. He knows them. He knows them as friends. He knows them. And I think it's a very good idea that we kept him. Whereas I'd say about 80%, just random, 80% of supporters were like, oh, why is Ryan Mason still here? Well, he's a flipping coach. He's got a lot of potential for the future. I think it's a good idea that we kept him.
Yeah, no, agree. Big up Wayne Holland. Love your guest. Danny's always welcome on. He's a great. We do have a good chat. And you're a COD player. Wayne, message me. I might be able to I'll sort you out when the new one comes out. Just remind me. I know you got my number, so I might be able to. I might be able to.
Call of Duty as well.
My mates. Obviously my mates come to me all the time and ask me for games. So if you play Diablo, my friends love it. So I don't play it. So they got
no.
They got my copy of it. Yeah, the new one came out and I got it for his birthday. But it's handy when they've got gamers and stuff in your friendship group. It's quite handy because it's easy things to pass on. Midori Dyer is the biggest. Yeah, exactly. I think Richarlison is. Yeah, listen. Do you know what? I'm going to say this on Richarlison. I think people say about the word forward watch. I want to see with him this season. I'm going to sit there and go, if he doesn't, he has to perform this season. There's no excuses. If he doesn't, go and chip him. Richarlison. I'll give him a season. I'll give him his last season. Listen, I always try not to be jump straight on the bandwagon first season syndrome. I always call it that and say, listen, he's coming to a new team. But there's no excuses this season.
The thing is with Richarlison, mate, is he's a striker. And he's even the striker for bloody Brazil, yeah? Brazil ain't really got many options up front at the moment as a striker, yeah? But he gets on there instead of Jesus. Why? Because Jesus is more of a false nine, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Yeah?
Yeah, agreed.
Now, again, if we lost Harry Kane, yeah? I still don't say we focus on getting a striker because I think we're covered up front, yeah? Those centre-backs is what we need. If we sell Kane with money that we should have, then buy 3 centre-backs or 2 centre-backs and a midfielder, yeah? Because up front, we got Jamie Maddison now. Stick with Richarlison in front of him. Personally, I think you're not going to see nothing banging out of him, but I think you will see 10, maybe even 15 if we count cup games as well, yeah? I think we will see games out of him. Or if he's not rolling properly, you can just stick Son straight in front of him and play him basically as the poacher. But I don't think Richarlison got his fair go last year because he kept getting put in left. He kept getting put in right.
That's fair.
He just kept getting thrown all over the place. And it's like I've preached on here many a time, and I will still preach to this bloody day, that last season, I don't think would have been as bad. I'm not saying good. I'm saying as bad if we would have played the right bloody formation for the players we flipping had. Because that formation and that style of play was not right for what we flipping had. We could have got away with more of playing you score 3, we score 4. We'd have got hammered in a few games, but you would have seen better. I just think that we focused so much on the bloody defence, and that was our weak point.
Yeah, agreed.
It's frustrating, mate. It's frustrating.
There was a question from Midori. So apologies, Midori. I didn't mean to ignore it. I started it and then forgot to go back. I'll ask you, do the goalposts change for Ange if Kane goes? I'll answer first. I'll let you see your thoughts. It doesn't for me because the goalposts to me are massive for Postecoglou this season. For me, with Postecoglou this season, I just want to see a cohesive football team. I want to see a team working together. I don't care where we finish in the league, as long as we don't get relegated, which we won't. That's always the caveat. But I don't care where we finish. I just want to see a team working together, if that makes sense. What about yourself, mate?
Yes, totally. Because that team didn't work together because it just. I think he lost the players earlier than halfway through the season. You could see half of them, they just did not give a flying you know what. And I think he lost the team. At the beginning when he came in, everyone was excited. Conte, yes. And they actually looked all right towards the end of the previous season. But then when it came over to the next bit and it was looking better than what it was quite deceiving in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I think he lost the team through so much messing about with them, this and that and everything else. And then when he came on here and just slated them all the time, I think if a player plays bad, tell him about himself. Too right.
Agreed.
But these days, people in general are so bloody soft that you can't go and do that on here because otherwise you'll break their bloody heart.
Do you know what it is? Though? I agree with you to a certain extent. What I will say though with it is that for me, I think the best way for it wasn't to do it publicly. If I was him, I would have done it in the dressing room. Go, do you know what, boys? You've let me down here today. I've now got to go and do a press conference and defend you after that. When we've got battered by insert club. I mean, we got battered by so many. For me, I think it should have stayed behind closed doors.
I agree.
But I get why he did it, by the way. This is not me. I'll sit there and I understand why he did it. You could argue he could have done this a million times. And then I think for me, the bit for me is I don't get, after the 1st of February, I sat there and went, do you know what? He's kept staying here. I wanted him to, on the 1st of February, and say, look, you've given me absolutely nothing to work with here. I'm gone. I'm out of it. I quit. And I'd have gone, you know what? Fair play. Go and build a statue of this man now because this guy's called us out. But the fact he stayed for so long,
like he was doing us a bloody favour.
Yeah, and that for me is where it was. No individual is bigger than any football club. He's not bigger than Barnet. You know, and Barnet's bigger than Antonio Conte. People miss it. Any football club is bigger than one individual. I've said this all along, and I'm saying it now again about Harry Kane. Tottenham are bigger than Harry Kane. We always will be, and that's where I've always come from.
We don't act bigger than Harry Kane, though.
No.
We don't act bigger than Harry Kane, do we?
The way we act is no. The way we act is not. But as an institution, we are. We will still be here. We were here before Harry Kane. We were here after Harry Kane. We'll be here before Postecoglou. We'll be here after him. We'll be here before anyone.
Another point I'll make to you, again, I've been called crazy on this a few times. I think Spurs, Tottenham, will play better as a team of 11 players without Harry Kane. Reason being, when Harry Kane's got the ball, if you remember, I said this to you a lot before, as soon as not Harry Kane's got the ball, as soon as someone's got the ball, it's right, get the ball to Kane. Where's Kane? Where's Kane? There he is. And everyone just looks for Kane. Without Kane on the pitch, they've actually got to work it out a bit better. Like, right, Harry Kane ain't on here. Where do we go? They've got to work the ball into the box more. They've got to do more things themselves. I think they actually played that bit better as a team without Harry Kane. Now, I'm not saying we'd win more games. I'm not saying this and that, whatever. But I think they play better as a team without Harry Kane because they have to work more, not just rely on Harry Kane to do his bit of magic to set it up, score it, whatever else. What do you think of that?
Yeah, listen, I get the point of it. I think with or without Harry Kane, I mean, we're always going to be worse without Harry Kane. I think that's the guaranteed. I think
anyone's going to miss 30 goals a season, mate.
Of course,
anyone's going to miss it.
But I do get your point about. I think we will be much more fluid without Harry Kane.
Yes, that is the phrase. Yes,
I don't think we're going to be better without Harry Kane because you're never going to be better when you lose a world class player like that.
But you can still play better as a team.
But but I think we'll be more fluid. But what I think will happen is what I'm expecting us is I think the goals will be much more spread out. As someone put in there, someone made a great point. 11 players scored for Postecoglou in the Celtic team. 11.
Mm-hmm.
What we're not going to do is what we have to do is we've got to find a system in a way that goals are spread across the team. We're going to get centre halves. We do. No, we do. And in this system, we will do, because late players here's a great example. One thing I saw massively in the game on Tuesday, one big moment was Skip darting into the box, Basuma darting into the box. You're seeing these midfielders that you wouldn't put down as goal scorers, making late runs into the box, getting goals. Big up. I just want to say, before we carry on, we're 2 subscribers away from 1,300. If you're in here and haven't subscribed, please hit the button. It means the world. There's 122 of you, 120 of you in here, and there's 71 likes. Can we get that to 100 likes,
Come on,
guys?
people. Stop being
That'll be amazing.
Stop being Levy. Stop being Levy. Come on, man. Give the man some likes.
The likes, what people don't realize, I try and say to people just think it's a vanity thing, and it's about...
No, it's not.
What the likes do is, the more likes you get, the quicker you get more likes, the more it gets pushed out. YouTube go, well, people are liking his content, so we're going to push it whilst it's live. So it starts hitting people's feeds, and more
someone
people
types in Tottenham, the more likes,
I go higher up the list.
You come up on the picture,
and I go higher up there. So
stop being tight and press the likes.
The likes. It's a free hit. It's a free button. Listen, if it's the only thing you do, it'll be amazing. It helps push out. Same with the comments. More comments, more interactions do me the world of good, because the content gets pushed out. So obviously, have we got one person subscribed, so 1,299. So one of you to get to 1,300 will be absolutely incredible. Look, now we've got all the I'm so far behind on the chat, and now the Witcher 3.
Put that last one back. I didn't get to read that last one.
Oh, sorry.
I do like Witcher 3. Good game. The series is a total letdown. Total letdown. Yeah. That is not Geralt.
Who does the Witcher? I don't know which company does it.
Oh, what's his name? He was the man who done Superman, wasn't he? I can't remember his name. I'm a bit off this morning. Oh, can't remember, but he ain't going to be doing the show anymore either. But yeah, anyone who loves a good game, Witcher 3 is a game. But anyway, back to Tottenham.
Yeah. Big up Tokaboka. Jose coming to team with COVID. A team into with COVID. He wasn't back like Conte. And I get all that side of things. I think we didn't get the players we need. But what I think, do you know what the difference with Jose and Conte here is? What Jose did, and again, I hate defending him because I didn't like him. But the one thing what Jose did that Conte didn't do was he didn't moan about it. He went, do you know what? Screw it. Let's get on with it. Listen, if that's all I've got, I'll find a way. And what he did is he found a way with the team that we had to get
the best out of it.
Get the best out of it. What I felt with what Conte did went, do you know what? I'll play my way, and that's it. I'll play my way with the players or without. And then it felt like to me, it was a stubbornness that let us down, because he didn't kind of go, do you know what? We've got the likes of Basuma in midfield, but I'm not going to change it and put 3 in midfield to benefit someone like him. I'm going to play with 2, and if you don't like it, we'll move on. And I felt that's what it was like.
I can't agree with you more. Yeah. Now, as a world-class manager who has done it all. Yeah. Now, I get his style on that. Right. You're coming into my way of play. You play the way I play, or you ain't getting in the team. Totally get it. Yeah. Well done.
Yep.
But it ain't working. You're meant to be a world-class bloody manager. Right. You realise this is not working. My way is not working. How can I adapt this team to get the most out of it so they play better and I can get better results? But no, the fella was so far stuck up his own backside.
Agreed.
That I ain't changing it. I don't care. Now, one bit of credit I will give him. I don't know about credit. Call it more sympathy. I'm not great with words, yeah? I can come across a bit fine here, mate. But the poor fella did have a lot of things happen to him in his life, yeah? And he was run down with life as well. And he had a hard time. He should have left long before. for his own good, not just the good of the
Agreed.
club. He should have left for his own good because he did have a lot of crap happen.
I think when Conte did go though, I have the agreement with Savra on this. I don't think it was us sacking him. I think it's him going, do you know what? Look, I need to go. But what I will do is I'll let Stellini stay in charge until Stellini will stay in charge at the end of the season, which he was equally as bad. But I think it was like that. I agree with you on that. I think that with Conte, it was not about anything but his health. He looked terrible. He looked really ill. Like
I'm not giving him leeway for this, yeah.
No. There's no leeway.
I'm just giving him a bit of human support here, yeah. A bit of
agreed. Bang on.
What's the word?
Football aside for it, yeah.
What's the word for it? Someone give me the word for it. Where you just give someone that bit of not sympathy, but
empathy.
That's the word, yeah. And yeah, he should have been gone. But before it was even doing that, he should have still worked out. This crap ain't bloody working. Change my formation. You're meant to be a world-class manager. Not just some little Ryan Mason, not just some little like Potter or whatever and that, yeah? I think he's meant to be world-class.
Do you know what?
Like a world-class manager.
I'll follow up, and Simon's bang on here, by the way. And this is what I said. There's two words that get used at the same time, but they mean totally different things. And Simon's hit the nail on the head. We'll play better football. We finally got a coach, not a manager. And this is the key bit here. And this is the key word. Manager and coaches are so different. Conte is a world-class manager, not a world-class coach. Two things are slightly different. And I'll ask you this question.
I get your point.
Conte didn't coach anyone better. I don't care. I will not hear it. He didn't coach one player. There's not one player after Conte left went, do you know what? He's a better player since Conte's been here. Not one.
He didn't even speak to half of them.
But what Conte is, he's a manager that comes in and goes, do you know what? I can win the league with this team. I'll sprinkle a little bit of magic dust. We'll get this.
Give me this and this.
This and this, and we're going to go and win the league. And that's what Conte does.
I agree.
That's what Conte does.
Spurs needed.
And Spurs needed a coach at that time. They needed a coach to go, do you know what? What we need is we need a manager that can come in and go, do you know what? We're gonna change the way we're gonna. Do you know who we needed at the time? Eddie Howe. That was who we needed. Eddie Howe is who we needed. Yeah, he's a coach.
I can go with that.
Look at what Howe did in the same time. By the way, in the same time frame as Conte, they joined about a week apart. I think Conte came in and Howe came in a week after. Look at the difference here. Newcastle have gone like that. Yes, people go, they spent money. They haven't spent loads of money. We spent similar amounts of money as they did in the same time frame. Give or take 50 million quid here and there. But they've gone like that with players like Fabian Schär, Dan Burn. Do you know what players none of us would have at Tottenham? And whilst we've gone like that.
When you get, it's again what I said earlier, yeah? You can have quite a bang average team. But if you get that team playing correct and you get that team, each player doing what that player actually does and then working with the rest of the team to do it, you can actually make a bang average team almost look good. Because I've seen it happen before.
Agreed.
Listen, you've got to get the tactics right. There's no point. My perfect point on here is Royale, yeah? He's not a great player, and I'm not saying otherwise, yeah? But one thing that man is not is a bloody wing back or a right winger, yeah? As soon as we actually started playing him more as the right back bit, he actually looked all right. I'm not, and he actually had a good couple of games. I'm not saying he's a class player, so no one on here tell me that I'm saying he's quality, whatever. But when we actually played the fella as a right back, what he is, he did actually look all right on certain games. And one other point I'll make here, yeah, that player got some stick. He deserved some of it, not all of it, but he got hassle. And do you know what? He basically turned around and said to everyone, do one. I can still do this. The man's got a head, he's got a heart, he's got willpower.
I
Now, you go
respect
take someone like Sanchez. He had a crap game. He got a bit of stick. He sat there. He nearly started bloody crying. Whereas Roy, I would have just sat there and said, "Do you know what? Screw you. I'll come on next time and I'll do it again and again." That's just an opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've got a few bits I've just started. Big up.
I'm just going to turn the kettle on quick because I need my second hit of coffee, bruv.
But I'll answer this one quick. Arteta confirmed Partey will stay. So where do you rank Rice, Partey, Odegaard in a midfield? I think it's close second to Man City. I wouldn't say it's a close second, but I tell you what you have done, Indian Gooner, is you have shortened that gap. I still think the likes of Rodri, because the way that Man City plays is slightly different now, so they'll play like Stones in midfield, Rodri, and then have De Bruyne. Do you know what I mean? I think they've got so much more quality. I think apart from that three from Arsenal, there's not much more there. I'm not sure what Havertz is going to do. We'll wait. The jury is out on him. I think pairs like what's his face? El Neni's not very good. Who else have you got in midfield? I can't even freaking remember. Vieira, I think, is awful. I think he's an awful signing. But yeah, listen, I think it's. I wouldn't say it's equal to Man City.
What was that signing about Havertz all about?
Well, Havertz is a weird one. Listen, I will hazard to guess that they think that they found a position for him that he can play. He's a technically good player, but I don't know where he plays. He's not a number 9.
I don't think he knows where he bloody plays.
They can play him in as a number 8. My theory is I think they think he can be a number 8 and play alongside that with a Declan Rice, a Thomas Partey, maybe.
One problem they are going to have, mate, is if Partey don't play, they are going to get bossed in that midfield if people come running at them. Personal opinion again, yeah? Now, don't get me wrong. Declan Rice, very good player. One thing the man ain't got is muscle. Havertz, mate, if he walked past me in the street and I just give him a little clip on the shoulder, he'd probably be sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, and that, what's it, that other one you mentioned, that Vieira and whatever, oh my God. They've got no muscle in midfield if they lose Partey. Now, the, what's his name? Trying to remember bloody players' names now. Who's the one they sold? The midfielder, Shakhtar. I can't remember his flipping name now.
Granit Xhaka.
What's that? Yeah, Xhaka. That's the one. He had some balls on him as well. Same as Partey and that. They actually had a bit of muscle in there. Now that he's gone, and if Partey goes or don't play on games, I personally think they're just going to get pushed all over the place in midfield. But again, opinion.
Philly, if you've got my number, send me a message on WhatsApp and I'll send it over to you now. If you're able to. So if you could do me a favor, send me a message. If you've not got my number, message me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll send it over to you, mate. You're welcome on. You know you're always welcome on, mate.
That's my second hit of coffee.
That's just my theory on with Arsenal. I think I don't think even Man City they've lost a couple of players, but they'll go and bring in players, and they'll go and improve. They always do. I don't think they're on level at all yet.
With Man City, it's like a game of chess. Yeah, they're already 3 moves ahead of themselves. Right, he's going. They already know who's coming in.
They weaken. Listen, this is Manchester City. Even when they've weakened, they're still better than most teams. And I think people miss that completely. Massive shout out, guys. We are on 1,305 subscribers. So every single one of you, and this is exactly the point. We're pushing content out to new people. More people come in, more people subscribe. So guys, can we get 10 likes onto the channel? There's 9 now. We're at 91 on my list. So hit the like button. Here's a question.
What the fella said here, I totally agree with what he's saying there. The fact that we did not play Basuma last season was criminal. Absolutely criminal. Agreed. Because the way he bossed that midfield, and I've had people tell me he didn't play as a defensive midfielder. Well, you didn't watch bloody Brighton play then, did you? Because many a time he played defensive midfield, or they'd push him up a little bit to do a box-to-box.
He's one of two, isn't he? You can play him as a box midfielder. What I said, here's my theory. People said I would prefer him as a box-to-box. I think he's got the energy and the legs to do it, and he's great on the ball. Yeah. As I said, he can play
and he's bloody strong. He don't look it, but the man has got some power.
I've said all along, I said Basuma's the one player that I'm so excited to see next, even more than James Madison.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for Basuma.
Basuma can boss that game in the middle. Jamie Maddison can't.
So out of these midfield selections, who would be your three?
Who would be mine? Well,
I know. I'll wait for you.
It depends what I'm gonna. It totally depends what I'm gonna play. Because personally, there'd be game like play it as a 4-3-3 as such, but there'd be ones I'd be playing with a defensive midfielder, and there'd be ones that I'd just be playing with two in the middle and one directly up front. Now, my number 10, even though it's Kane, but we say number 10 playmaker up there, Jamie Maddison all day long, yeah. And then behind him, I'm 100% having Basuma as my box to box to boss that midfield off. Get forward, get back. Get forward, get back. Now, Sarr, I think, needs some more games to get into it. He looks pretty good. But if I'm going to have to put someone next to him there, I'd put Højbjerg there. Reason I put Højbjerg there, hang on, is because he's got that bit of muscle on him. He's got that bit of willpower on him. He's not a great player, but if Basuma goes forward, he can then cover that midfield along with whoever we got in defensive midfield, whatever, when we have a defensive midfielder there. There's two ways we can play with it as such.
Agreed.
But if I'm going to go for the attack, sorry, mate, if I'm going to go for the attack and it's more of an attacking game, Basuma again, and I suppose is Bentancur without a doubt. But it all depends on how I'm going to play. Bentancur is more of a deep line playmaker for me.
Yeah.
Good on the ball. He gets a bit lazy at times and sort of like all of a sudden he's thinking of something else. Oh, sugar, I'm playing football and loses it a bit. So, yeah, if I'm definitely going attacking, I'm definitely going Bentancur and Basuma. But if I want to play a bit more defence, then I've got to have someone like Højbjerg in there.
No,
we haven't really got a better option.
I do see your point. For me, the midfield three for me would be Basuma, Bentancur, Maddison.
We could get Basuma behind as the defensive midfield.
I would say I would put Basuma as your sixth now. However, what I would say though, guys, if we signed a number 6, my midfield would be a proper number 6, a top number 6. Basuma, Maddison would be my 3. Bentancur's injury at the moment, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He could come back and be able to play to the levels that he was at.
It screwed VDV, didn't it? When he came back, he has never looked the same, man.
Screwed so many players that are cruciate. Cruciates can end people's careers. I think people can.
That's worse than broken legs. That's worse than breaking your leg.
Yeah, Midori's right. Don't have to score many goals if Spurs could defend on top of dominating possession. Agreed. Yeah, if we can defend, I think we all know if we can fix our defense up and get it patched up properly, we'll be okay next season. And that for me is the key one.
I don't think we're getting no top 4 like some people are saying, and that.
Phil, I've seen your message. I'm just gonna so you take over for 2 seconds. I'm just gonna get Phil.
I don't think we're going to get no top 4 because all of a sudden people are looking at it like, oh yes, we can get top 4 and all that. I still think we're going to be lucky if we see it out of 8th place, 7th place. Reason being, you're going to get better football, but I do think this is going to take a bit of time to adjust to this man's way because it is just totally different to how most of them have done it over the past 2-3 years even. And I do think we are going to see a lot of games of, right, bruv, you score 3, we score 4. And then there's going to be games that we go for that and they're going to score 6 and we're going to score 2.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a very up and down season, but it's going to be a lot better to watch. And they're going to get the hang of it as it goes on. But I still think we're going to be lucky if we do better than a 7.
No, I agree. I think we need to. I just think we need to just.
And we need to get rid of some dead bloody wood, mate. I mean, come on. Some of them players have got to go.
Yeah, no, we have to. Lots of players are going to have to be offloaded, definitely.
I mean, look at Lores, for example, I felt safer when Fraser Forster was in goal. I don't think Fraser Forster's a bad keeper, but he's bang average, He's an average, everyday keeper,
He's number 2, isn't he? He's a number 2, isn't he?
I think for other clubs, he could still be a number 1, Because I'll tell you one thing. When he was standing there, the fella looks like he looks like a monster, Whereas when Lores is standing there and everything, you're just looking there. And as soon as the ball comes towards him, you're like, I just look the other way. He's scary in goal. Whereas when Forster was in goal, I weren't so bothered. He actually controlled that area a bit better as well. Lores on his day, back in the day, brilliant shot stopper. But what's the word? I think eccentric is a bloody understatement for the fella, yeah?
Yeah.
But he was good. But we're not going to use him. He's not going to stay. Do you know what? I personally think we could terminate his contract and even not have to pay him anything if we say to him, like, right, you want to go, you want to do your thing. Should we just cut your contract now? Tell you what, mate, there's £1 million or 500 grand or whatever and that, or not even that, even like we can terminate your contract and you can go wherever you want. Yeah. I think we can do that with players like him. With other players like Sanchez, I think we could just go, right, 4 million on the market, someone to snap him up, yeah? Someone somewhere. All right, we've lost the money, but we ain't getting money back. But right, that's another deadwood gone. Eric Dyer, I can't, he's going to be there and it's just, he should be long gone as well. Another player that he's barely, no, do you know what? Do you know what really gets on my back about Eric Dyer? Now, some people are going to call me a bit crazy here.
Tell me.
What do you think would be a call if we actually tried putting him back as defensive midfield?
No. I'll be honest, he's one of those players at the moment that
I'm not saying he'd be our main man for it, yeah? But when he played for England as defensive midfield, he actually looked pretty solid, if you ask me. What do you think?
I just worry with him. Listen, I think for me at the moment, we need to not build around this man.
No, not at all. I want him gone. It was just an example I was making. It was just a question.
But what I would say here, I'm not sitting here saying I'm not advocating Eric Dyer staying. But here's the question I would say. I get what do you know what? I think I'm understanding where you're trying to come from with this, the angle, what you're coming with. People already, I love it in the chat, go, no, I don't want him anywhere near. No.
Right. Did anyone in this chat watch him play for England as defensive midfield?
But Dan,
what was not bad.
What I was going to say is this: I'm not advocating it, but because the comments are all like, they've been loving.
I want him gone. Go.
They've been loving you all morning, and the second you mention Eric Dyer, they're all going, no. This is what I love about YouTube. It's context. But what I would say here, I'm not sitting here advocating it. That's not. And neither are you, by the way.
It was just.
But what I would say here though is I have a feeling that he's going to stay for one more year. I don't think we're going to get rid of him now because I don't think anyone's going to get a hold of him. However, what I would say, if there was a way that we can keep a hold of him for 1 year, I'm not, as long as he's not the first name on he's the first name there. If he's a squad player, there's 2 or 3 names ahead of him, but they've got injuries or whatever. I don't want to see him playing. But if, say, we have an injury crisis or we have to get someone to play.
You need some depth there, don't you? And he's better than Roden.
Exactly. I mean, that's not too difficult at all. But I get
we know.
I love the chat's amazing. The chat.
Do you know another player that? Now this one, people are going to call me cranky again, yeah. But do you know another one that I don't actually want to see go?
Who?
Davis. Do you know why?
I see
he can cover left back. He can cover centre back. Yeah. If, say, for instance, Roden and Dyer both go, and the other thing you can definitely give with Davis, he will always give it his all. He won't have his best games all the time, but you'll usually get a rating of a 6 out of him. Yeah. He's definitely. I think he's good to have as a squad player. He's definitely good for a bit of backup. No, he's not going to win us game. He can even cover left wing back at pressure. I'm not saying he's good at it. He's definitely better on the defensive style. But he would be someone I personally think would be good to keep because he's got experience. He can defend better than Roden and Dyer, if you ask me. And he can also cover a left back if we are playing left back instead of wing back, whatever, and that. Yeah. I personally would not get rid of him yet. I don't think he's one of them deadwoods that has to go. I don't think he's right on the top of the list. Whereas Dyer, Sanchez, Roden, and Ndombele, I think all them need to go before him. What do people think of that?
Yeah. No, I get your point. I think, do you know what? I sit back and think I understand the anger towards the likes of Dyer and stuff. I do get your point. I think you've got to remember this is a player that is a player with 1 year left on his contract. So, and you've got to bear in mind, this is a player that played, whether we like it or not, by the way, everyone sits there and says, oh, we had elite managers. These elite managers picked Eric Dyer. These elite managers picked him. And when people go, yeah, but he had no other choice. She's telling me he's better than what else we have in the team.
Well, both Mourinho and Conte did actually say that they think he's got potential. Well, at the age he's at.
Conte was the one that came out and said that Eric Dyer can be one of the best defenders in the Premier League.
Or was he just covering his backside that he had to play in, basically?
But why? But that tells me...
But that ain't a Conte thing, is it? That ain't a Conte thing to come and just say that just to keep the people happy, is it? It isn't, is it?
Everyone tells me... Everyone says to me, he says it how it is, and then when he says that, then everyone says, oh, no. Big up Tyree, mate. How are you doing, mate? How are you doing? Welcome back. You haven't been on the channel for a while. How are you doing?
You all right, mate?
Happening, fellas. Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
Good, cool. Mate. Listen, we've got some questions. And before we do that, guys, can we get 7 more likes to get to 100 likes? What are we doing on the old subscriber count? We have been flying today on the subscribers. So much love to you guys. We are now at 1,306. Can we get that to 1,320 before the end of it? We're going for another half an hour.
Come on, people. Stop being tight.
Subscribers will be amazing. And it'll be a great one. And listen, 5 more likes to get over 100 will be great. That'll be awesome. We're going for about 39 more minutes, 40 minutes or so. And then we'll be passing you all over to Mr. Henry Wright. We got a couple of questions. So, Tyree, welcome to the show, mate. How you doing, first of all?
Yeah, mate. I'm sweet, man. Saturday, day off work and that.
Feet up, Saturday, all chills, no stress about Tottenham, of course. But some question. Big up you, Evan McCabe. If we have 4 points from the first 6 games, Brentford United, Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield United, Arsenal, what would be your reaction? Tyree, I'll let you go first. You've just joined, so I'll let you jump in, mate.
If we have 4 points from the first 6 games,
yeah.
So what would that be? Like potentially 4 draws and 2 losses?
Four draws, 0. 4 draws.
It depends on the context of what's happened. Like if we start the first 3 games with 3 losses, and it's because of the issues that we have at the back, which are clear to every single person, even if people don't have a football IQ, and then something changes, clicks, it starts to turn around, then maybe 4 points from 6 games could have a different context. But if it's like literally like 2 losses and 4 draws, I mean, it's gonna. I mean, I worry that some of these players that we still got, that we've had from before Ange joined, is going to put his job on the line. If they don't sign new centre backs, this defence is going to cause him problems.
I think it's all relative, isn't it? It's all dependent how we play and all that.
Calls anybody
problems, look, they're all piling in now. We've got Philly here as well.
Yeah.
Mr. President, how are you doing, sir?
Hello, I'm good, my man. I'm good, Perchy. You know them ones there. Big up, Dan. Big up the other panelists. How you doing, Ben K? Nice to see you. I'm coming down to your store soon, you know. I promise you that.
Down, sir.
Big up, guys, and welcome, Ben. Of course, as well, you just jumped on as well. Much love to you guys. What are your thoughts on this? Because listen, I've said all along. One, I'll be honest, Evan. I'm going to say this to you. I don't see it happening. I think the way that we're going to play football won't allow this to happen. And I'm just going to say that we're going to play much more attacking, pressing football. And Ben, Philly, I'll let you guys jump in now. If we got 4 points from 6 games, Brentford United, Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield United, Arsenal, what are you saying?
You've got to stick by the manager.
Bang on. That's
You've
my
got to stick by him. It's not his fault these players are so bad. It's the bloke at the top. It's the former director of football. It's the current director of football operations who, for some reason, hasn't started yet. It's all their fault. It's not Ange Postecoglou's fault.
No, it's not.
Into an absolute mess. And what they should say, if we have a rocky start, we should say, we're going to support you as long as you don't get relegated. Implement your style of football, because we've had 5 years of chopping and changing styles of football. It's all our fault. You just get the players through the season. And when we get to January, all the players you want out, get them out, and we'll support you. We're going to have to back a manager. We have
agree.
Champions League football is a write-off this year. We're not getting
completely. Too many people saying like, "Oh, we could get 4th place now." You're like, "Oh, mate,
we're not
get
getting
off the clouds, will you?" It ain't happening.
It's just mad as well that we've had a defensive style of play for the last like 4 odd years, defensive managers. And when an attacking
When we
manager,
got a crack defence.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's like,
no,
you would think that when Ange come in, the first thing that he would have is a good CDM and some good centre backs, and then they'd need to build attack around it because the previous managers were defensive. But it's like that's the one area that we're weak in. It doesn't make sense. It's like such a mismatch. We've got great attacking players, but we've had defensive managers. Now we've got an attacking manager. That's the hole in the team, and it's just so typical of Spurs to be in that position.
I mean, we haven't bought, apart from Romero, we haven't bought a top quality centre back in 5 years.
Yeah,
we call Romero top quality.
Yeah, but Romero ain't top quality.
Apart from
I know
Romero,
what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Sorry,
Romero, we haven't bought a.
Sorry, Jacob, if you're watching.
But either way, whether you like Romero or not, defence isn't about one player. You don't have one player. Defence is all about partnerships. It's all about a defensive unit. The Tongan, I love the Tongan. He's one of the best defenders I've ever seen. He wasn't hitting the heights before he had a proper defender. And who was next to him? Eric Dyer. So it's what's it called? It's what's it called?
Yeah.
You need to build a defense around partnerships.
I think you're missing a point here, though. I think you're missing one big point. Vertonghen did not need Daddy standing next to him.
No, he
to tell
didn't.
him what to
Agreed.
do.
The
Problem is with Romero. Romero has got the potential and the quality to be excellent.
Yeah.
When he was in, when he done that season at Atalanta, he was good, and I mean very good.
Yeah.
But then you also look who was playing with him. I can't remember the fella's name, but he was getting bossed on the pitch. When he plays Argentina, he gets bossed on the pitch. Problem is, with his age, he should be a lot more mentally stable on that pitch. Yeah. But he's erratic. He's fiery. He needs sugar daddy. He needs daddy standing next to him to basically slap him around the head. So, boy, don't bloody do it. Do this, do that. And then I think we'll see the best out of him.
But Dan, don't you think that's all over the pitch? That what you're saying there, yeah, right, is what I said about Højbjerg last year. When Bentancur came in, yeah, you could see a whole different Højbjerg because Højbjerg could concentrate on his game, and he could basically then be able to do what he needed to do. When he played with Skip, yeah, he had to cover for what Skip had to do as well. And this is like pass and parcel through the whole team. And this is simple. This is symptomatic here of Romero, because Dyer is so poor. He has to cover for Dyer, and then he has to cover for Sanchez or whoever at the other end because they're poor. So you're not only concentrating on your game, but you have to concentrate on their game as well.
Right, let me give you this point.
This
then,
is an update.
When you watch a game of football, are you watching one game? No, you're not. You're watching about 3 different games. You're watching what the defence do, what the midfield do. They're all playing their own bit as a team, but they're all doing their own thing. So you need your boss in defence to get it working. But with someone like Romero, he's so bloody erratic, you'd basically have to hold his bloody hand. In midfield, you've usually got that one in midfield who's slightly more bossy than the rest sort of thing. And then up front, you've got it the same sort of way. There's 3 different bits in there that they play as a whole sort of thing. Romero needs a dad next to him, basically, to tell him, calm down, boy. Get your act together. Don't do this. Stay on my line.
But Dan, isn't that exactly the point though? When people tell me he's world class, if he's world class,
he's not world class.
He shouldn't need someone next to him.
Right.
Exactly.
If you're world class, you're the boss. You are.
He needs to learn how to hit the ball. Like first centre back.
I hear this all the time. Romero's world. This statement, Romero's world class, and what you guys said is right. If he's world class, how's he not even making anyone around him better?
I wouldn't say you need.
What is Romero defensively good at? Does anyone know? Because I say this
all at making challenges, like literally in one-on-one.
In terms of covering spaces, he's good at getting in front of someone and being an aggressive person. He's got good anticipation and he's good at coming.
Does he though? And he's got the most pounds for centre half in the Premier League last season. Is that good anticipation?
Yeah, I think his anticipation's off, and he doesn't read the game well. I think the problem is he doesn't read the game well at all. Like
he concentrates more on a situation than a game.
Yeah, exactly. And he's good in those situations. Like there's one-on-one scenarios where Romero can come out on top because he's got a lot of tenacity and he's got a lot of drive.
Yes.
But the thing is when you're a defender, sometimes the bread and butter of what you do is just mopping up like loose balls, looping balls coming into the box. You just deal with it,
you, mate.
and then more complicated things will happen throughout the game. And I feel like when I watch Romero play, what winds me up, because I'm a goalkeeper and I know centre backs. That's one of the areas. This guy cannot defend headers. Like when balls come into the box, he always looks lost. And we've got other defenders that don't read the game well. So it's this whole mismatch. Look at those 2 goals conceded against West Ham. I know it's only a friendly, but that's like in Scotland where Ange's come from. Those Scottish defenders, they deal with that on a weekly basis. It's like you've got to do more to test them. You can't just put basic balls into the box.
I agree with you.
Yeah, with this Spurs defence, you put in simple crosses into the box that players that are deemed as average will mop up and deal with and just get out. Romero doesn't read the game well. I think he's got a lot of quality as a footballer. I think there's a lot of quality there when he's distribution, when he's got the ball. I see him get himself out some high pressure situations really tight. It's really impressive. But at the same time, I've heard a lot of people hear about Longley as well. And Longley. You've got to be able to defend first. And if you can't do that, it's hard to keep giving you credit for the things you are.
Give me a second, yeah? Let me just answer this question here about Black Lives Matter. Excuse me, mate. When you put players on a pedestal, right, guess what? When they don't stand up, they set them up for a fall. And this is what Tottenham fans do on a big basis. You rise a player up to something that he's not, and there's only one way to go after that, and that's down.
Yeah.
And they won't live up to your expectations. So putting them up there and saying they're world class when they're not, guess what? You're setting them up for a fall, mate, and that's not worth it.
Yeah. And I just want to make a real good point on this. I laugh seeing how Sava has single-handedly brainwashed every Spurs fan. No, what people have done, people have this opinions, and listen, Sava says his thing. We all have our own opinions on stuff. We all do. And it just we all thought this before we even spoke about Romero. We think he's a liability. He gives away. People say he can get better. I think he can.
Yeah.
But the point is you have to judge it on what you see. And I see
as a question,
he's crashing all over the place.
As a question, yeah. Again, some people are going to think, like, what's this man talking about here, yeah? After everything this fella next to me said, sorry, I can't remember your name.
Tyree.
Yeah, Tyree. Right. With everything you've just said about Romero there, do you think it'd actually be safer if we played him as a 6 sometimes?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think he could actually cover a 6 all right, because he can make that mistake of that dodgy tackle and it don't give a...
Against Liverpool, he made 2 unbelievable passes for Sonny. And we got a goal because of it. I think Romero is a number 6. He's quick. He's not so great in the air. He glides over the turf. He's aggressive. I think he could be an unbelievable number 6. Put Van der Ven and Tapsoba behind him. Put him as the number 6. And then say, your fullbacks, do what the hell you want. Go forward.
He can make the dodgy tackle. He don't give away a penalty, whatever, and that. All right.
I think the Liverpool game,
2 legs.
The Liverpool game to me highlights Romero. Like that Liverpool game, the first 13 minutes of that game, he looked like he had never defended or watched a game of football in his life. And then something clicked. And then for the remainder of the game, he had a really good game. And it's like, to me, as a centre-back, you can't afford to have those level of inconsistencies. Like you're allowed to make mistakes every now and then. But when I'm seeing every game, the guy makes at least one mistake, it doesn't always lead to a goal. But
Tyree, do you know what? You're spot on with. So I don't mean to interrupt you. You're absolutely bang on. Romero seems to be the only player in our team that gets an excuse to make a mistake. If Eric Dyer makes the same mistake, we slaughter him, and rightly so. If Sanchez makes a mistake, we slaughter him.
Yeah.
But my point, I always sit back and go, I judge things individually. I judge players individually. I see him make mistakes, and I see people go, oh, well, we need better players around him. No, he needs to play as good. Do you know what? Here's a great point. And Sam makes a great point on this. He said, great football players shine.
Yeah.
Great players. Look at Harry Kane. Last season, we were awful. He's world class. He's shone above everybody else.
They make players around him better as well.
Everyone around him better. Romero doesn't. Romero doesn't make anyone better. I just want to make a point. My opinion.
I just want to make a point on this, and I hate to quote him because he's a gooner, but Arsene Wenger said it years ago. It's like in football, you've got like most players, like 70, 80% of players are good, but only in a certain system. and you can get the best out of them in a certain system. And then there's the other 20% of players that are world class, and no matter what system you play them in, they will always shine. So when people say that Romero is world class, it's like he doesn't always shine in his team. Like we had our worst defense last season, I think, ever in the Prem. Is it? Like I'm pretty sure that was the worst defense that we've had.
Second worst, I think that was.
Like if we had a world class defender, it doesn't matter about the other players. A world class defender would have been able to keep those numbers down. You're still going to have bad games, but to me, it's like when people call him world class, I just find it like. Whatever, man.
It's back to Philly's point of elevating people above their
It
station.
doesn't elevate anyone. And I just want to big up Dave, by the way. Much love to you. You're sending a lot of love to you over, Dave. Much love. But he said, having continuous conversations about Romero when Dyer, Sanchez, Rodon, and Davis are still here is pointless. They need to go way for him. I don't think anyone on this
why is it pointless?
saying sell
That's
Romero.
No,
that's a totally different conversation. What we're trying to have the conversation about, and I'll say this. Romero is the only defender I judge. And people go, what do you mean that when I say that? I said, because I don't want Dyer, Sanchez, Rodon, and Davis at the football club anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't judge it. Because those players, listen, whether they do amazing or if they do good, I want them gone. I think Romero needs to stay at this football club. Well, I will judge him. And when people tell me he's world class, I will judge him on a world class standard, like I do with the likes of Heung-min Son. I judge him at a world class. Same with Harry Kane. I judge these all on world-class standards. So like when I said about Heung-min Son, I thought he had a really crap season last season. People went,
I don't think Son is world-class.
No. I don't think he is.
Very, very good, but I don't think he's world-class.
At that level, because loads of people tell me he is. Same with Bentancur.
He's not.
Bentancur is world-class. But
he is not.
No. I don't think he is as well. My point being is, a lot of people say it. So I'll sit there and judge it on that. Romero, I hear it. Romero's world class. Okay, so let's discuss that conversation and go. Is he? Well, he doesn't make anything around him better. He made as a centre back made the most fouls, gave away the most fouls in the league for a centre back. I think there was only a few defensive midfielders and wing backs that gave away more fouls than him. As a centre back, he was the highest giving away fouls. But then I hear, well, you can't then I hear people say you can't judge that because he had a bad partner next to him. What?
Right. The thing you're trying to say here, I think.
He played next to Anthony Gardner and he was class.
Yeah.
Romero needs someone next to him to make him better. Romero will not stand next to someone and make them better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
It's the definition of world class.
And the thing with Romero as well, can he play in the back four? Because when we said Atalanta, he was.
Well, he plays for back four in Argentina, isn't it?
Well, for Argentina, I don't think.
But look who he has standing next to him.
They conceded 3
that's
goals
true as well.
He has a daddy standing next to him.
You shouldn't be conceding 3 goals in the final if you've got a good defense. I don't care what anyone says. Like in every final, good defenses will be cagey and they'll minimize the mistakes. Between Romero and Otamendi, they conceded 3. Albeit, Mbappe's world class in my opinion as well, and they were up against it. But there was a few of those goals where I'm like, there's other defenders that will deal with that. Like Gvardiol in the World Cup, apart from when he had to come up against Messi, he mopped up everything else that he had to deal with.
Yeah, no, I agree. As I said,
but then doesn't make it. Sorry, Patrick. Yeah, doesn't that make you a bit annoyed? Yeah, when you see that Martinez went to like Man United last year, well, we could have bought him, and that would have complemented Romero.
Mate, I see.
That's the kind of sign that we should have made, seeing that we were in the Champions League, and we could have got him.
I mean, we'd have had half the Spurs people on here saying Martinez. Why are we going for Martinez and that and everything and that when he is actually a bloody good player?
Yeah.
The player
we think that we should be getting these.
That is the foil to Romero because Romero is not good in the air, but he's great on the floor. He's aggressive. Tap Sober is exactly the opposite. He's tall. He's imposing in the air. He's calm. He's collected. He steps out. Tap Sober is the person you put next to Romero, and it makes both of them better.
I've got a question for that. No, I've got a question for that one. Hang on a minute, Hang on a minute. For me, Romero, he needs a daddy next to him, not a brother. Let me finish. He needs a daddy, not a brother, yeah? I think Romero is that fiery that if he has someone his own age or younger, how old is Romero now? 23?
25.
25. So he's older than Tapsuba, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to stand there and quite happily get bossed about by Tapsuba. I think you'll see too much confliction between them two. Like, who are you telling me what to do, bruv? Like, get out my face, and then you'll see a confliction. Romero needs a daddy next to him. I don't think them two
no,
would
I
work
think
well
that's
together
fair.
on a personality-wise.
Guys,
On a
don't
skill-wise, on what they can do, Football Manager, it looks perfect. But I honestly think that them two would actually clash on the pitch. But again, personal opinion. Romero needs a daddy, not a brother.
Can I just say this? Black Lives Matter. I'm not sure how long you've watched me. I never praised Romero for the clattering against Haaland. If anything, I was the one that got absolutely castrated for basically saying that guy nearly cost us the game against Man City. So I don't know what Perchie was, who you were watching that was called Perchie. It wasn't me. I got absolutely castrated, and I even got castrated when I said, even after us winning that game, he's cost us. Because what happened? He was suspended. He missed the Leicester City game, and we got battered 4-1. So Black Lives Matter, mate. I don't know who you watched. That was not me. Trust me, I got absolutely slaughtered in the comments when I said about when we beat Manchester City. Trust me, I got absolutely castrated for it.
I cannot remember what I did 5 minutes ago, let alone what happened in the Man City game.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you could find the clip where I sat there and I sung Romero's praises, please find it. It never happened.
I think Romero gets summed up pretty well by Rio Ferdinand. He's a liability.
Yes.
And I don't care what anyone says, like learning about centre-back, bro. I'm going to listen to someone like Rio, who's one of the best centre-backs I've ever seen. Like, it's just...
Totally agree with you.
Yeah,
I mean, the fellow on here has just made a comment, like, communication at the back will make Romero and any defenders better. We need a confident leader in there. I totally agree.
Leader.
This is basically what I'm saying. But someone of 23 is not going to be able to boss Romero about, because Romero has got that little boy attitude. I know, but he's got that little boy attitude. Tapsuba might be the best leader on the planet. But I personally think there will be that age conflict between them where Romero is just going to be like, don't boss me about, you're only 23 sort of thing. I think he is that childish in his attitudes that a 23-year-old leader next to him won't do him no favours. Now, if you went and stuck someone like, I don't know, like old days like Alderweireld there, Vertonghen there, or you go and stick someone who's 28, 29 there, I think he would take the orders, take what to do better. I personally don't think Romero is going to be able to have a 23-year-old boss him about. I think it's a mental confliction between them two. Not a skill part, Dan, mentally.
If that's the case, he can't play. And listen, I've said this a lot.
Play him as a 6 or sell him.
People tell me, oh, you can't drop him. Yeah, you can. If we sign back then and Tapsoba tomorrow, I think that's 2 defenders there that's already fighting for a place into the team. Personally,
I think them two come on before Romero. Romero is good. That is what's frustrating. He is bloody good. He has not got the mentality. I'll say it 100th time now. He needs a dad next to him, not a brother.
I agree.
It's annoying.
But Dan,
don't you think that fits into Conte's idea of lacking experience and why we should have bought a commanding leader at the back, which is what I said last season, right? Where you should have bought a commanding leader at the back here, commanding presence, which I asked for all last summer. I said the summer transfer window was a shock in the fact that we didn't solve that defensive issue, right, of bringing that defender in to lead at the back. Now, Eric Dyer is no leader at the back. Eric Dyer is a poor defender, and I'll slam him as much as I can because he is such a bad player. And I've said this many, many times. And out of principle, he has to be the first one to go because you've been here 10 years. And after 10 years you've been here, most of them have been poor years. You've been here long enough. It's time for you to go.
Sorry, fella. This comment here. Roberto Carlos was a world-class defender. Did you actually ever watch him play? Roberto Carlos was not a bloody defender. Roberto Carlos was an attacker. He used to go forward and then the others would come in and cover him. He hardly ever bloody defended a flipping game. World-class player, not a world-class left-back.
No, I was... Okay, but I think I get what you're saying. Like everyone in... What I was saying with this is it, though. The word world-class, I think the whole point of it, listen, that's subjective, of course. World-class...
He was a world-class player. I'm not saying that.
I know he's him. But my point being is this is the conversation, though, what I was just trying to get with this, though. The word the statement world-class, the phrase gets bandied about so readily.
Too easy.
Players can have 3 or 4 good games, and I hear the word he's world class. No, he's not. Is Romero as good as Maldini? No.
We've hardly
Romero
got any
is good
world
as-
class players.
We've just got one. We've got
Go
one.
back to, no, not at Spurs. I mean, in football. Go back to 2000.
Harry
Yeah?
Kane is the
Most
only
of these
world-
players wouldn't have even stood out on the bloody pitch. Go take Messi and Ronaldo and go put them back to the days of the 90s in the Italian league and that.
This
They
is
would
it.
have still been right up there, but they wouldn't have shone as bright as they did. They'd have still been world class. But you look at the style and some of the players we had in, say, late 90s, 2000s, they wouldn't have shined quite as much because there was so much world class there. I don't think there's much world class in football anymore, if you honestly.
Dan, I agree with you on this one as well, because I like Sava. This is where me and Sava correlate, yeah. I grew up in the 90s, mate, and I grew up watching Italian football because I was lucky enough to see Paul Gascoigne play for Spurs, and I followed him into Italian football. I watched all the Italian clubs at the time, yeah, like Rui Costa, like Batigol, all these players, they're world class, mate. George Weah. None of the players today stand up to them levels. I'm sorry, they don't. Not one of them can say, "Oh, we're at that level." You're not.
There's a lack of mavericks now.
I think the game's different as well.
You had mavericks everywhere, and they weren't just mavericks because they were mental. They were mavericks because they had personality as well as football. We don't have mavericks anymore. Name a maverick in English football now. There's only Jack Grealish.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
let's take an excellent midfielder here, yeah, who is actually quite possibly world class, yeah. Rodri. Yeah. Do we agree on this?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now let's take him back and put him in the Italian league in the 90s and 2000. He ain't world class. Still a good player, but he's not standing out as world class when he's got people like Pirlo standing next to him. It's too easy to be prescribed as world class.
Like you can name them Seedorf,
Del Piero, Edgar Davids.
Harry turns up.
The list goes on and on and on. Where we have such a little amount of actually world class out there, everyone is just labelled world class like that. I don't believe that 90% of the people we call world class 20 years ago would get called world class. Name me a world class right back, right mid, or attacking right that would have even been able to lace Figo's boots.
Yeah,
one. Name me one. Everybody's quiet
right now. No, good point.
Emerson Royale.
Hakimi. Hakimi's the only one that you can say is up there. But even that, you can't really.
I didn't hear what you said.
No, I mean, I think Vinicius Junior plays out on the left. He's probably the nearest to it right now. Vinny Junior is amazing as a player. I think he's incredible. But I get the point.
I think the game's just changed as well in terms of like personalities. Like back in the day, there weren't social media and stuff, and I don't want to being one of those, I get called toxic masculinity, like, or I get tarred with that brush a lot. But like, one of the things I get frustrated with footballers now is I feel like a wimpy element entered the game. If you know what I mean, like back in the day, men were. I don't want to say across as like, I think you know what I'm trying to say. But it was a blokes game back in the day, and then now it's like. It's just there's too much feelings and stuff, and it's like, mate, I get like mental health is important and stuff, but at the same time, you make like a week what I will earn in a lifetime. Yeah, so you can take some of the stick. Do you know what I mean? Like you're becoming millionaires in a couple of months by playing this game. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, every single person I knew was trying to get to football. The only 2 people I knew that made it was Dwight Gale and Andres Townsend. And it's that thing. So they can take a little bit of abuse every now and then because I know that they're millionaires now as a result of playing football. So it's like, but that's the thing, that everyone's emotions are important, everyone's feelings are important, and that's why Conte's a great manager. But in this modern era of society, I don't think his ideology as a man, I don't think it works.
That's why Conte works in Italy, because they still have that mentality in Italy.
Yeah.
People are naming a couple of players here, Perch. Yeah. Now, Kevin De Bruyne, world class. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Right now, yes, he is. For me. Put him back in the 90s and put him back in the 90s in the Italian league if you was to put the best players that have ever played in Italy to the best players that have ever played in Spain to the best players that have ever played in England, that Italian league will wipe the floor with every other league. I personally think, it's going to have a struggle with Spain, but I personally think there was better in Italy than there has ever been everywhere. Kevin De Bruyne in the 90s in Italy and Spain, when you had some of the players there, he would have been extremely good, but he would not have stood out as world class. I think one that someone did mention here that I think would have been world class then as well is Kante.
Yeah, Kante was special.
Yeah. He
big up Wayne Holland.
For me, Kante is on the same level as Didier Deschamps.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. We agree?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Now there is a world class player. Bale. Yeah, I'll give you Bale. I'll give you that one. But he ain't modern day. Yeah, but look, we're all going. But we're going back to the time I'm talking about. I'm talking about now.
Modern day. Yeah, no, I get your point.
I'm talking about modern day now. It just don't touch.
Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane's world class. I think Harry Kane would have been.
Yeah, but Harry Kane would not have been world class back then. He wouldn't have been up there with what Shevchenko was before he went Chelsea. Inzaghi, Crespo, Del Piero. Come on, it goes on. Yeah, who else? Batistuta. Come on. Harry Kane would not have stood out as well.
And I'm not even being nasty. I'm going to pick up down here as well. These players actually done it, at the highest occasions as well. Even in finals and cup finals, Champions League, they've done it there on them big stages.
Harry Kane is not Makaleli. Yes.
Yeah, but you know whose fault it is, don't you, guys? You know whose fault it is. It's Daniel Levy's fault, all of this.
All right, Barry, welcome on for the last sort of 10 minutes. How are you doing, Sam? How did you get the link?
I thought I'd come on and say, because obviously I'm Levy in, so I thought I'd come and say.
Hashtag Levy in.
Gold, mate. Purple and gold.
Oh, dear.
Bryce, do you know what, Irish? I'm not saying it yet, mate. We get the two centre-backs, I'll say it. I told you, patience. And Bryce, up until about 5 minutes ago, I didn't have a shirt on. I was just sat in the boxes.
I got to see in the little thing before he came on when he was getting changed. Nah, I'm joking, I didn't.
Ooh,
but yeah, much love.
Sounds like it, mate. Sounds like it.
I know who this is as well. It is a good panel. Right, I know who this is.
Is that the wife again?
Yeah, she's telling me she's going to keep creating random account. Well, changing the name of her account.
She can only change it twice now. She can't change it again for 14 days.
You can't change it again for 14 days. You felt that's a good point. We're going to be stuck on Perchy's burner account now for 2 weeks. Oh dear.
Okay, I wasn't standing up for Daniel Levy. Oh my God! Look at
this. Here we go.
Like crazy, man. I wasn't standing up. I was just saying balance.
Lisa's a new. Lisa loves Dan, by the way. So I think if I have to get Dan or Morphin to get Lisa on watching the show, she wants your number. I've seen in the chat as well. It's getting a little bit weird.
Rand stands up
Lisa,
Daniel Levy.
Lisa THFC is a big fan of you, Dan. She loves sunglasses.
Who's that? I missed what you said.
Oh, Lisa's a big fan of you in the chat.
You see this, Barry? You see this? I blame Daniel Levy for this. Look, I've got no hair. You see that? That's Daniel Levy's fault. All the stress of watching Tottenham playing bad football. That's Daniel Levy's fault.
Yeah.
I'll explain it quick. I've had to do it enough times. I've got epilepsy.
Yeah.
I look at a screen for too long. I need these glasses on to sort out because the frame rate can cause me troubles. So I don't wear sunglasses.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not sunglasses. They're the blue light ones. Guys, we're gonna go for about 5 more minutes. Barry's just turned up because Barry does turn up whenever he feels like.
I did send you a text, Perch.
Did you?
Yeah. You don't. Perch never answers his phone to me.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you sent Perch a message saying, "Can Barry come on?" Barry comes on when Barry wants to come on.
Yeah, Barry's allowed to come on whenever he wants. If you can send Barry the link. No.
Breaking news. I've got some breaking news. And
everyone, Barry's
going to start tomorrow. Tangay is going to start tomorrow.
Barry, say it again. Breaking news.
Breaking news for the Perchy TV. Dane Scarlett is the only player not available tomorrow. So that means Tanguy and Ndombele will play some part in the game tomorrow. And he's going to ball with my boy Emerson. There you go.
Breaking news from Range Postecoglou. That's exactly. I needed Ben's breaking news button. That would have been perfect then.
You need Ben to do your little little breaking news.
You need
thing.
Ben. You've got to send me a breaking news button announcement.
Need to find some copyright music.
Please. Copyright music. We've got a few more questions.
Anytime you do something on here, give me a message. I'm more than happy to come on with you. I enjoy doing a show with you.
Always welcome. Always welcome. We've got a few more minutes. We've got 3 more questions to go through. Terry Rizapolo. I love the name. Great name. Exactly. There you go. Better than me. Your thoughts on Vicario so far makes me a bit nervous. I'll be honest. I think we've got too much against Villa. Oh, not Villa, for West Ham. Sorry. And I thought the goals. I thought it was very harsh on him.
Yeah.
I think the first 2 goals were like point blank ranges from him, and we're expecting.
Yeah. Bertie, remember, 26-year-old Hugo was better than a 26-year-old Vicario.
I don't know what boring. Is it? Yeah.
It's too early to judge. Just like you give him at least half a season to get like.
Give him a bit of time. Give him a bit of time. I think he'll come out all right. Whether he comes out quality or not is a different story. But if we go into a bit of what was going on, and this was actually put down as fact, Bayern Munich was looking at this man. Inter Milan actually wanted this man for when they sold Onana. Was absolutely fuming when we basically took him from underneath their pillar, basically. Yeah. Who else was chatting? Yeah. Chelsea was checking him out. Man U was checking him out. AC Milan was checking him out because they're worried about losing their keeper. There was a lot of people checking out this goalkeeper. Now, right, no one made a bid for him, but no one had to make a bid for him at the time because they was all safe with their keepers. The only one who was significantly going to go for him was either going to be Bayern or Inter, because Manuel Neuer, one of the greatest keepers that have ever walked this planet, in my eyes, he's getting past it now. He's actually quite brittle ever since he done his backing, because once you've done your back, you've done your back. But Inter wanted this man and was already talking to him, and we snatched him. The man's obviously got potential to have clubs like that looking at him. What we see, we shall see.
No. I've got another. So go ahead, mate, quick.
No, it's to say he's a goalkeeper, so he's just like
watching a player on 45 minutes of football. It was balmy. Yeah. I just want to sort of flash through these because we're going to go for a few more minutes. Big up Mike, big up Perchy, great charity stream, great cause. You still haven't answered my question. I said to you, Mike, you have to donate £10 for me to answer that question. If you don't know, go back and watch it. I think people that want it know what the question was. I will answer the what was it? It was keep, sell, whatever it was and stuff. I'll answer it if you donate to me. That's the rules, Mike.
Perch, can I ask question, mate? You see with Vicario, yeah, right? I think this plays into the defensive ones as well. You see the second goal we conceded, right? I don't blame Vicario for the goals, yeah, but the second part of the defender, if he can build up a relationship with the defenders, yeah, right, then that kind of mistake won't happen where he passed the ball to the guy and then the guy actually hit the ball out of play and they went out for a corner and then they scored the second goal. Now, if you can build an understanding with your defensive partnership, them kind of mistakes wouldn't happen. And this is why you need to get the defenders in as quick as possible to build that relationship up. Because that's what happens when you don't have an understanding with the defenders around you.
A goalkeeper can only be as good as his defenders.
Right.
All right. When you've got a good goalkeeper, he can get you 10 points a season. We have blatantly seen that with goalkeepers over the years. They can get you an extra 10 points. But go and get the best goalkeeper ever and go and put Eric Dyer and Romero in front of him. He's screwed. You can stick Oliver Kahn in that bloody thing or Buffon. All right, he might get us 3 points in that, but he ain't getting us 10 points in that because he's just. You can.
They just need to build up chemistry.
Yeah, guys, we are going to wrap up.
That's the right word.
Yeah.
Chemistry.
You're right. I'm just going to finish it off with this because Black Lives Matter. I just feel like you're just trolling now. I hope the positivity continues after Leicester slap Spurs because now results don't matter anymore. It's pre-season. After that, it'll be Spurs. But listen, I've always stood by it. Pre-season's pre-season. I don't care what results are in pre-season. It's all about the performance. That's what I'm going to end on.
Games.
It's just a training. It's a glorified training match. That's all I will say. I want to say massive shout out to every one of you guys that have joined the panel. Massive shout out to the guys in the chat, every one of you. Guys, don't forget, like and subscribe on your way out if you haven't done so already. And guys, I'm just going to pin in the link. Everyone go over to Henry Wright's channel now, and he's going live now, and put in hashtag Perchy Raid in his chat. We'll send everyone over there. The link in the chat. Go over there. And I'm going to finish now. Guys, thanks for coming. Everyone go and have a lovely day.
You too. Have a lovely day.
Everyone.
Out.